How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting and welcome back to Chaoschild. Gosh darn it, I'm good. I've just stuck in that zone, Chaoschild and Chaoschild time. So we are here and we've now kind of learned about D-swords a bit. We've like that they exist. We've learned about Gigamaniacs. Now Taku is being apparently one, but he's struggling to kind of come to terms with it or manifest his powers on command. But he also has been worrying people. We had the whole tromp into the hospital, meeting with dangerous people, getting caught up in stuff that might get us into danger. And now it looks like we're checking in on Kurusu, or No. And yeah, I have a feeling that she's going to get targeted. It's kind of been implying that her old friend is the girl with the pink hair that we saw when we snuck into the hospital years ago. And now she's kind of out roaming, but mad. And she might have a personal vendetta against people who knew her before, maybe, or people she might blame for not helping her. So I'm worried that Kurusu is about to become the target yet again, despite the fact that she's the only person actively trying to not get involved in everything. So I'm not liking where this is going to go, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe I'm completely misreading the situation. I don't know. Just kind of, I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. We also have the next new gen killing on the horizon. I don't think it's yet. I think it's supposed to be maybe in another week or so. I can't remember the specific dates off the top of my head, but we're doing okay. Let's jump right into it, shall we? All right, all done with Yui.
ありがとう、ユイ。悪いわね。いいって。のの姉にはいつもいろいろ任せっきりなんだもん。私だってもう子供じゃないんだし、こういう時くらい頼ってよ。
Yui smiled as she finished disinfecting the wound and applying the gauze. Nona was a little surprised to see her smile look just like an adult's. Yui and Yuto had come to the Adoba dorm at almost the same time as Nono and Takeru. At first, they were still young, and it took time for them to get used to life here, but now they were an inseparable part of the life at the dorm. Of course, 6 years had passed now, so perhaps that was only natural. That's right, people can get used to anything. As Nono thought that to herself, she had thought about how long 6 years truly was and softly patted Yui on the head.
どうしたの？ののね。なんでもない。大きくなったなって。何？急に。だからなんでもないんだって。ちょっと思っただけ。
Just reminiscing. Time just marching on. You gotta get used to that. Sometimes it's really easy to daydream about man, if only I had done this or done that. At the same time, she thought to herself, I have to protect this, no matter what. The things that she'd built over the last 6 years. Her family. And...
いいののね。また勝手に動き回って悪化させちゃダメなんだからね。
Yeah, she's got a point. You clearly keep pushing yourself way too hard. The way Yui stood up and talked was just like Nono did. It felt a little embarrassing to watch.
ごめん。それにしても、タクル兄もタクル兄だよね。痛がってるのの姉を置いてどっか行っちゃうなんて。
I think it was the confrontational time. That was really the why, but yeah, it's kind of ugh.
口では文句ばっかり言ってても、タクル兄は本当は優しい人だって思ってたのにさ。
Oh, come on. I think he is at heart. He's also very scared, a little selfish, and just flawed. He's human.
そう言わないであげて、ユイ。タクルはタクルなりにいろいろあるのよ、きっと。いろいろって？それは...
Nono knew that Takeru didn't want to hurt her. Takeru was just struggling as hard as he could. Against the circumstances he found himself in, against the world. However...
わからないけど、いろいろよ。いろいろ。変なの？
He still didn't realize that sometimes the only thing doing that brought was sadness. They kept Takuru's past a secret for his own sake. There was nothing to be gained from digging up the awful truths of the past. Taku knew that. So why?
とにかく、もうしばらく安静にしておくこと。これは父さんからの命令でもあるんだから。わかった？
I'm kind of surprised she doesn't understand. Because it does feel like pretty simple. It's not the lie that actually mattered. The lie was probably the right thing to do, especially when he was young, especially when he was already struggling. It's the fact that the whole reason he came out of his shell was because he felt like he actually belonged, that they cared, that they stuck to the rule, don't keep secrets. Only to find that they did keep secrets, and the secrets involved him. That pain, that's what really hurt. That's what really was the problem.
はいはい。返事は1回。はい、わかりました。よろしい。
Yui said the line that normally Kurusu would say, then left the room. Kurusu chuckled as she watched her go. And then she took her phone off the side table. A moment after she turned it on, the phone's wallpaper appeared. Aww. It was a photo of her family, her dad, Yuto, Yuki, Taku, with a blank expression on his face. He does look kind of terrifying there, doesn't he? Like, his eyes look too wide here. Like, why are his eyes, like... Okay, like, it's just so weird, like, normal human eyes. Look at them. They, like, all of them have the giant irises that are kind of indicative of the art style. Everyone's supposed to look human, right? But he has, like, human proportioned eyes. They're describing those as being empty eyes, right? But, like, even this picture, I don't know if it's just me, but doesn't this picture, like, look a little off? Like, it looks like it's been... How do I describe this? I'm seeing, like, a blurring of pink and green along, like, the fingers of Taku. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, look at that, actually. It looks like the part of the picture where Taku is distorted. It's slight, but it's his side of the picture. It's like the bands of pink and green. And that almost makes me feel like... It's almost like like a 3D effect. They used to have red and blue that will like let the pictures pop out if you wore the right glasses. It almost feels like I could do something like that here, like I squint. But like a great example here is what's the kid names? The young boy. He like on his right side he looks fairly normal, but on his left side he's got the distortion going, and like on the right side. The girls have like no real distortions at all, but he does. Like that's like either my game's like glitched and having a weird like phenomena happening with my graphics card. Maybe it's dying. I don't know. But otherwise, I feel like that's intentional. I wish I could look at this picture again, like more detailed. Yeah, it was her dad, Yuto, Yuki, Taku, with a blank expression on his face. Why is his expression so weird? It was one of her most important treasures. Like, those eyes are really sticking out to me. There's got to be something to that, right? Have we ever seen him before with a picture, like, of him? We must have. Did he have the more normal eyes compared to everyone else? It was one of her most important treasures. She stared at it for a long time, and then after a moment of hesitation, opened the photo gallery on her phone. There was Taku, mixing in along with many of her other memories. He had the same flat look on his face, almost made her laugh out loud. At the very bottom of the gallery was a picture dated a long, long time ago. It was taken 6 years ago, just before the earthquake. There were 3 children in the picture. Nono, Kawahara, and one other. Her friend, right? Suddenly she heard a knock at the door. I don't like this. Knocks tend to be bad news. She quickly hid the phone behind her back.
Nono 姉ちゃん、いい?
Yuto?
何? お友達が来てるよ。お見舞いだって。
Oh no.
友達?
Oh.
やっほー
Oh, Seneca. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be crazy pink hair girl. Seneca softly opened the door and came inside.
元気？元気だったらこうして寝てないから。ああ、そっか。じゃあまたにするね。
No.
冗談よ冗談。入って。うん。
Seneca came inside, moving a little more carefully and softly than she usually did. She sat down next to the bed.
お茶とか持ってきた方がいい？ああ、いいよ。お構いなく。ありがとう、ゆうと。うん。じゃあ。
I mean, he's got good manners, at least.
へへへ。
Seneca smiled as she watched the door close.
何？ゆうとくんもしっかりしてきたなーって。まだ甘えん坊だけどね。
Yeah, but he's a kid. Yuto was shy, particularly around people older than him, but he seemed to be okay with Seneca. Though that was probably because Seneca had been around Taku for so long.
それで？え？ここに来た理由よ。お見舞い。
And?
怪我の具合なら電話でも話したでしょ？なのにわざわざ来るなんて。
Well, on a human level, sometimes it's just nice to come say hi to people that you care about, check up on, but there's probably another reason.
やっぱのんちゃんにはかなわないな。
I mean, you're never that, I don't know, good at hiding your motivations.
当たり前。で、どうしたの？ちょっとね、のんちゃんの様子がおかしいなって思って。
Oh, like how? Like, are you talking about how how resistant she's been to Taku? It sounds like she's kind of been a disapproving kind of like resistant force on them in a while. Like, not resistant in like a bad way, but more of like someone who tempers down the mood, keeping things from going crazy. But maybe it's not usual.
私が？電話の声がね、元気がないなって。
That's probably true.
何言ってるの？怪我してるんだから元気がないのは当たり前でしょ？
That's not it.
それはそうなんだけど、なんて言ったらいいかな。とにかく変だなって思ったの。だから来たの。
Okay, something was off in a different way, so I came by.
セリカ。
I guess I really can't fool you either, Nono thought to herself.
のんちゃん？
Yeah. She's really worried, right?
どうしたの？具合悪い？そうじゃない。そうじゃないの。ただ。
Yeah? Nona hesitated for a moment, then slowly took the phone out from behind her back. There was only one thought in her heart. I have to protect everyone. That was all. If she couldn't change things, they'd be put in danger. Taku. Her family, the rest of the newspaper club. So Nona made her decision. What she couldn't say until now. What she didn't say until now. Oh gosh, what is she doing? She would tell everyone. What?
のんちゃん？セリカ、言ってたわよね。例の病院の地下で、南沢千里っていうこの情報を見たって。
Right, okay, so she's gonna like tell her the truth of what happened to her now? Interesting.
これ。
It was the picture Nono had been looking at a moment ago. There was Kurusu Nono, Kawahara Masashi, and one more child.
のんちゃん、これって。
I did not realize this. So there's the girl, right? We know about, like, we're kind of like getting introduced to her. That's the guy that was there. Like, the name sounded vaguely familiar, but no, he's like her second command. He's childhood friend Kurisu's. He's had the super long crush. He's been playing the long game and been friend zoned and hates it. Bro, I know it. I know that passion. Not quite that same level though. Like a lot of these childhood friends are literally like middle school or earlier type stuff. I don't know how often that happens, but yeah. Aw, look how cute they all are though. Yeah, her.
それではここでもう一度こちらの歴史シールがどういうものかを見てみましょう。
Okay, so now we're going back to Taku, listening to the news, I'm guessing.
まずこの歴史シールというものが最初に街中に貼られ始めたのは2007年頃だそうですが、果たして誰が何のために貼り始めたものなのか詳しいことは分かっていません。
Yeah.
ただのいたずらだとも、あるいは宗教的呪術的な意味があるとも言われていますが、それも単なる噂の域を出ません。ただこの歴史シールが最近になって大量に貼られ始めたのには何らかのメッセージが込められているのではないかとインターネットなどでは話題になっているということですが、
I mean, that's not entirely wrong. The message is, attack the brain!
若者のサブカルチャーなどに詳しいゲストの方を
Who's your special guest that knows youth subculture?
誰が何のためにやってるのかわからないなんて気味悪いですよね。
So now everyone's talking about the sumo stickers.
この歴史シールと言われるものがデザイン的にどうであるかという点を考えてみますと、
This feels like a media campaign, like a push, like someone's getting the story out there on purpose so they could get like the image out into people's minds. Maybe they're going to do a big flush trying to draw out all the potential gigalomaniacs. Every channel I looked at was talking about the sumo stickers. The world was talking about the sumo stickers a lot more than I expected them to. Everyone was getting excited over old news and old theories. But none of them had reached the same conclusion I had yet. Well, of course they hadn't. It was way too far-fetched. But a while ago, I'd been confident. I'd been sure of my theory. And Kunosato-san and Narimura had confirmed it. It's nuts, though. I didn't believe it anymore, or more specifically, I didn't want to believe it. Because if those powers existed, it meant that I might become a victim too. Might eat my own hand, or rip open my stomach and shove a speaker inside, or have my head ripped off, or get my stomach filled with pieces of paper with faces on them. I might meet the same end as all the others. No, you won't. You'll meet an entirely unique end that's just as horrible and twisted and vile. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that. A sliced arm. Bloody stomach. Severed head falling off its neck. Eyes that wept blood. Wide open mouth. The sumo stickers pouring out of it. If that happened to me, well, you'd die, but... No way. I don't want that. No.
ではもう一度実物をご覧いただきましょう。これが歴史シールと言われるものですが、
Turn it off. Oh no, not again. A close-up of the sumo sticker appeared on the screen as the announcer spoke. The instant I saw it, I leapt from my chair, hallucinating that all the nightmares I'd seen so far were being rebooted and attacking me. I closed my eyes so I couldn't see the sticker. Man, that sucks. It's almost like... It's giving me a similar motif to the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, but the idea is a little more insidious. This idea that, like, because of the nature of the image and the 11th Rorschach and all that, that you look at it and it allows it to get its fingers in your head and start messing with you, right? It like, has some dramatic effect on your psyche. And so you have to do the opposite of the weeping angels. Instead of don't blink, you have to keep your eyes shut so you don't accidentally stumble into a bad delusion. But the problem is, I wonder if him closing his eyes, what if he is now in a bad delusion?
一説によりますと、これはデザイン学校の学生が自己表現のために貼り始めたという話もありますが、どんな理由であれ迷惑行為であることに変わりはありません。
Maybe. Really convenient to just blame it on a student. Oh, those dumb kids doing their stuff. I fearfully opened my eyes and tried to catch my breath. The sticker on the screen was still staring at me with its creepy face, but nothing had happened to me. I think it might be like the slightly different sticker that Watabe had published, probably. I'd seen the 11th Rorschach image in the basement of the hospital. That was the real sumo sticker. And it had a terrifying effect on me. But many of the stickers that were showing up around town were fakes, put up by people hoping to be part of the latest fad. They had no effect on me at all. I like how he's talking to the... Oh, I was gonna say, I like how he's talking to the TV like he expects the anchors to hear him, but Setika's back already. I'd finally calmed down, so when I suddenly heard a loud voice next to me, I jumped up again. No, you're scaring me to death. I recognized the voice, but still fearfully turned around. Okay, calm down. I suddenly felt so tired I almost dropped straight to the ground, but I managed to stop myself. He's like, fetch me, man.
それは私が言いたいよ。タクってば、外に聞こえるくらい大きな声出して。近所のみんなびっくりしてるよ。
Oh gosh.
今のは、発声練習だ。
Good save, buddy.
本当に？
No. Setika looked at me worried.
でも、タク、顔が真っ青。ひどい汗だし。
Setika took a handkerchief out of her pocket and tried to wipe away my sweat.
いいよ、自分でやるから。
I grabbed the handkerchief from her and scrubbed the sweat off my forehead.
これ、明日洗って返すから。
気にしなくて OK だよ。タクの汗だったら汚いとか思わないし。
Okay, guess you could just say it like that.
少しは気にしろよ。で、こんな時間に何の用だ？
I put the handkerchief in my pocket. Her face took on a much more serious expression than usual as she slowly began to talk.
のんちゃんの話をね、聞いてあげてほしいの。
Yeah, I really think you need to, Taku. Like, you really, really should.
クルスの？今から？
Sooner rather than later.
のんちゃんはね、明日でいいって、学校が終わったら、青葉寮に来てほしいって言ってるけど。
Okay.
でも本当は、タクに、すぐにでも聞いてほしいんじゃないかなって思うんだ。
Setika.
そんなに大事なことなのか？
Yeah.
私が話しちゃってもいいんだけど、のんちゃん、自分でお話ししたいって。
Yeah.
そうか。
Setika never took anything this seriously. It really must have been something important.
わかった。これから青葉寮へ行ってみる。
オッケー。さすがタク。優しいね。
Aww. Stop it. She grinned and giggled a little, then grabbed my handkerchief out of my pocket. Grabbed the handkerchief.
いいからいいから。タクの汗の匂いをじっくり堪能するんだ。
Oh, that's not weird.
やめろよ。
それじゃあ、また明日。
See, that's the first, I think, genuine blush we've seen from her. She's squeezing their Garrow Frog. She squeezed her Garrow Froggy strap to say goodbye, then spun around and left the RV. I watched her go until she was out of the park.
クルスの大切な話。
As soon as she was gone, I tried to think. What could she want? Did it have something to do with what happened? The idea scared me a little, so I got ready to as soon as I could and left the RV. Okay. I hurried down the usual route I took to Albadorm, but... Oh. Oh no. That's not good. Something was different. Something wasn't the same as it had been before. What? What's changed? Something was wrong. Okay, hang on. So let's draw attention to it. Was that tree always there? The one split in the middle. I'm not sure. Do I see a D sword? Look, not for a sword, but something that could be a sword. Got a weird shadow on the side of the blue tent. That could be the beginning of one, maybe? It's just very shadowy. I always need to squint, because I remember when you could first see the D sword in the first game, it was literally like basically so transparent you basically couldn't see it. And it blended in with the contours and lines that were already present, and you can't look at it for the proper perspective. They are independent of perspective. Not sure if I can see it. I didn't notice anything different when I came down here on the way home from school. So what was strange, dissonant feeling? Oh, what the fetch? Where's that? Where was that? Oh my gosh, you could just see them everywhere. The walls, the fence, the streetlights, the stickers are staring at me from all directions. So I was looking for a D sword, but maybe it was like the faces? And all of them were real, not one of them was fake. That was eerie. That was that eerie 11th Rorschach image. Well, we're dead. The scenery in front of me suddenly warped and twisted. I felt the mountain view I'd just drank coming back on my throat, and I tried my hardest to keep it down. Don't look at me. Not even Arimura and Kunosato were right, and I did have some kind of power. It was only the tiny little power which I couldn't master and wasn't even good for anything. Oh, what's the crying for? Oh, so many of them. Oh, this is just a nightmare. What was that sound? Sounded like a cat in heat. No, wait. This is the sound of a baby crying? But there shouldn't be any babies in this park. So what the heck was that sound? Immediately after I thought that, all the stickers that were staring at me opened their third eye. A smiled. Oh, that's even worse. And they slowly... slowly. Yeah, I know, man. Their eyes. Oh, it's so creepy. Opened. It's like they don't want him to go to see her. He's gonna run into the street or something. I ran as fast as I could, not caring where I went. Oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. Can I see that in the sky right now? Is like the Rorschach in the sky in the clouds? I just need to escape from the 11th Rorschach somehow. But It's like it's sitting in his blind spot. It's like it actually feels like a deployment of the same thing that Taku from the first game, like Takubi used to take down Nozomi or Norose, was the idea of putting eyes in his, like using eyes to fill his blind spot to make sure he didn't have one to utilize or to activate any of his own delusions. No matter where I went. Oh, this is bad. It's whose eyes are those eyes? No matter where I went. Or in this case, it's those eyes are God's eyes. Here. It's getting closer. And here. It's getting closer. Oh no, and here. There were so many of them. Were there really this many sumo stickers in Shibuya? How did I never notice before? They're seeing his eye. No matter where I went, it was like they were following me. Ugh. I had no idea how long I'd been running from the phantoms of the sumo stickers. But no matter where I ran, the entire city of Shibuya was covered in sumo stickers. And each time I saw one, I felt sick and dizzy as if I was going to throw up, and add to that exhaustion from running, I was barely able to keep standing. Just when I reached the conclusion there was nowhere left in Shibuya for me to rest anymore. Oh. How much you want to bet we were being guided here, wherever we are? I saw a silhouette crouched in an alley. It was a person clutching their arms over their tiny body, and they looked like a stray cat. It was so different from the girl I was used to that I initially thought I just mistook her for someone I knew. Arimura, what? But when she looked up, I realized it was actually her.
Arimura.
Miyashiro senpai.
What are you doing here?
何してるんだよ。こんなところで。
Wait a minute. If she starts saying that she saw the face, then maybe we were lured here together.
ちょっと気分が悪くて、あれのせいで。
Oh no. Oh no. I think we've been rounded up. Arimura pointed behind her but didn't turn around. That was enough to tell me what she was pointing at.
力士シールか。
そっか。先輩も
Yeah.
先輩もひどい顔してる。ダメなんでしょあれ。
No.
違う。僕は。
It might just be me could have been empathetic, but I can't stand to look at the stupid things anymore either. They give me the chills. I didn't want to admit it. If I admitted it, then it would mean I had special powers like Arimura, and my life would be in danger. I like how his idea, which is like, it's such a human thing, but it's so stupid to be like, if I just don't acknowledge that this is happening to me, then it won't be happening to me. That would mean that instead of me going after a case, the case would be coming after me.
なんだか急に数が増えたと思いませんあれ。
Oh yeah, and in impossible places. Also, like, hang on a second. I got like something. I think I just got something. I got a sliver in my foot. Okay, ow. That was unpleasant. Okay, moving on. It's just me or them all of a sudden. Arimura's voice is so soft it was hard to hear her.
今、テレビなんかでも話題になってるから、情弱どもまで寄ってたかって張りまくってるんだ、きっと。
しかも偽物だけじゃなくて本物のシールまで。
Yeah.
迷惑です。
まったくだ。 そういう連中はすぐに飽きるとは思うけど。
だと、いいんですけど。
Yeah.
とりあえず、青葉院へ行こう。
Oh, yeah, maybe we should just bring her along.
僕やクルスが育った養護施設だ。そこなら診察室があるから、具合が悪くても休める。
はい。すみません。
Oh, this is the most vulnerable we're seeing her.
立てるか？
それくらいは、できます。
She forced herself to smile, then ignored my outstretched hand and stood up by herself. Getting to Aoba Dorm was a miserable experience. I could feel the influence of the sumo stickers increasing with every step I took.
大丈夫か？
Good grief, this stuff's just getting incapacitating us. This is really bad.
はい。
Or so she said, but she didn't look good. And I wasn't in any position to be worrying about anyone else either.
早く青葉寮へ。
It was the one thought that drove me forward. But suddenly, oh no, oh no. This is not an encounter we're ready for. She appeared before us. A woman. It was a woman with a strange presence. If we'd been in one of Shibuya's typical crowded streets, I doubt we'd have even noticed her. But this was an empty street. She was impossible to miss. Her long hair covered most of her face, and because the streetlight was behind her, I couldn't read her expression at all. But I could see the strange, hungry light that shone from her eyes through the thick hair that otherwise concealed her features. It was a dark light, one that somehow brought a deeper darkness, not illumination.
先輩。
Yeah, uh-oh. Arimado's voice was shaking. She'd realized how strange this woman was too. And then, my eyes met hers. And the next instant, oh boy. She laughed, or so it seemed to me. Her laugh was empty, but at the same time somehow satisfied. It was a laugh like evil itself. It was nothing like I'd ever heard before in my life. And then the raspy, unpleasant voice she spoke. That's the last thing you want to hear in a dark alley at night. We gotta run! Oh, wow, Sherlock, you really are on top of it this time. Alarm bells went off in my head. Yeah, they're the I don't want to die bells. My knees start to buckle. My instincts told me she was dangerous. Arimata was staring at the woman, not moving a muscle. No, she probably couldn't move, even if she wanted to. It was like we were paralyzed.
先輩、あの人。
Arimata barely squeezed out the words.
多分、能力者です。
Oh no.
Huh?
That's psychic. I didn't want to admit it, but just looking at the woman in front of me was enough to dash all my hopes.
能力者は本当にいるんだ。
You know, Arimata is one. Why are you doing this? Okay, whatever. This woman. Her very existence was enough to make me believe.
有村。
なんですか？
Run.
あの女の能力ってのはどんな？
I didn't know anything about Giglomaniac powers besides Arimata's. But from what I'd seen so far, some of them were a lot more dangerous than the ability to tell when someone was telling the truth. There had been more types, for instance, ones that could be used as weapons. And there was no doubt in my mind this woman had that sort of power. Plus, if she has a D sword, she's already got a weapon.
くそ、こんなことなら ちゃんと調べておくべきだった。
Oh, dude. Oh no, I would have done more research. You just didn't want to do it because you were terrified it would be real. Now you're gonna have your come to freaking like Steiner moment or something. Good grief. How could I not have the information I needed at a time like this?
有村、
そんなの私にもわかりません。テレパシーなのか、プレコグニションなのか、クレアボヤンスなのか。ただ
Arimeto's eyes were fixed on a single point. She probably couldn't look away.
あの人の能力はもっと危険な、
Oh boy.
人に害を与える力だと。
Oh boy. Oh no. The woman started sluggishly walking toward us. Slowly, slowly. Finally realized the reason she seemed to be off balance was her walk was because she was dragging one of her legs. Maybe she's injured it, or maybe it never worked right to begin with. She approached us one step at a time as if enjoying our fear. You know, I understand you're not feeling good, guys, but you got legs. She took another step. A horrible smile was frozen on her face. Her eyes were looking straight at us as if she didn't want to let her prey escape.
逃げなきゃダメだ。
Wouldn't it be funny if that she turned out to be actually an ally this whole time? But my body wouldn't move. My body had turned to stone like I've been stared at by Medusa. And then suddenly the wind blew. The woman's long hair flew up, and I could see just a bit of her face. Oh no. Arimeta gasped. Huh. The woman had been terribly burnt. The other thing, she doesn't look like the girl we saw in the picture earlier. I thought she had red eyes, not blue. Her face was covered in horrible burn scars. The smile disappeared from her face. Instead, it was replaced by rage. There was nothing there but burning rage and the color of anger. Is it because we saw your face? She slowly brought up her hands. Oh no, wait a minute. And then pushed them out toward us. Don't be able to throw fire at us, please. Oh, fetch me.
Senpai!
Arimeta screamed and pulled my hand as hard as she could. A pillar of flame sprung up right where I was standing. There was a blast of heat and the awful stink of burning asphalt. A burning pain ran down through my cheek as the heat struck it. Yeah. Come on. Move, dang it, move! Aww. She looks freaking cool, though. Oh my gosh, this goes so hard. It's like a metal cover, like art, like cover art. That's the word. Dang. Run! She waved her arm, and the next moment, the space in front of me was a sea of crimson flame. Arimeta and I tried our best to get away from the fire.
パイロキネシスって。
I knew that meant the ability to create fire. If I remembered right, it was a word created by the famous novelist. All over the world, there were historical records of unexplained fires breaking out for no clear reason. Spontaneous human combustion, where the human body would suddenly burst into flame, was one form those incidents took. Of course, spontaneous human combustion was considered pseudoscience, as most scientists believed those incidents were actually caused by static electricity or electromagnetic waves. I still feel like even those explanations feel really like a stretch. And now, real pyrokinesis was happening right in front of me.
Senpai! 何ボケっとしてるんですか?
I know, right? He's being stupid. He has no fight or flight syndrome. He just has stand and stare. The next thing I knew, the woman was stretching out her hand toward me. You're lucky she doesn't know how to aim for this first encounter, it seems. Go, you idiot! I rolled along the ground with Arimura almost exactly the same moment the fire exploded outwards. The smell of burning hair stung my nostrils. Oh no! Oh, now you say that. It's probably your fault. We kept moving away, only barely dodging the burning flames. Pillar after pillar of fire appeared behind us. It looked like the flames had spread to a bike and some garbage that was laying on the roadside, but I didn't have time to check. The woman was getting closer, dragging her leg as she walked.
Arimura!
I tried to grab her hand and run, but... Oh gosh. The fire appeared right in front of us, and as we tried to dodge it, we both lost our balance and fell to the ground. Get up! The planter next to us was on fire. I looked up and saw a footstep go closer and saw the woman was right on top of us. Get out of there! She's going to kill us. That was what was going through my mind as she was lying there, as I was lying there frozen in terror. Mike, he's got the survival instincts of a gibbon. Or like one of those fainting goats. He's just like, and falls over. That wasn't an anime or a movie, this was reality. The pain was from where I'd hit my leg when I fell, the pain from the burns. All these flames, the smell of melted asphalt. It was all real. Kunosato-san had said the Gigalomaniac's power came from delusions. And not just any delusions. These delusions affected the brains of others, and though being shared, they became reality. And through being shared, they became reality.
物理現象すらねじ曲げるんだよ。ギガロマニアックスの妄想と、それによって共通認識化された現実は。
Yeah.
だからこそ、それはこの上なく危険なんだ。
Yeah. Yes, and because of that, impossible pyrokinesis was happening right in front of me. And the power was going to kill me and Arimura. Delusional flames would become reality, and in that reality, we were going to burn to death. D-sword? Is there a D-sword here? Please, D-sword? Anywhere? Come on, think. See it in the pattern. Or the not pattern. Could you make it out of the rock wall? Maybe where the smooth concrete meets the rocky block edges? Delusional flames would become reality, and in that reality, we're going to be burned to death. Oh my gosh. Oh, why is she crying blood? Is that what happens when people use their powers to an extreme, maybe? And push it too hard? Gosh, she looks crazy there. Holy crap. Oh no. The woman slowly pointed her hand toward us. Maybe I was imagining it, but the air around me seemed to grow hotter.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. I don't want to be roasted to death by these flames. No, I don't want to die. You gotta do something, man. I don't. A bigger spiral of flame than any we'd seen before appeared before us. But at the same time... Oh. Oh! There it is! Something strange appeared at the corner of my eye. So I didn't do the hiding it in reality before, like before. Unless it was there and I didn't see it. Frighteningly sharp. But also frighteningly fragile. Infinite and finite. Phantasmal and real. Like all the ugliness and beauty in the world had been compressed into one object. Ooh, it was a D-sword. Look at that sucker. That looks awesome. It looks like a spaceship. It was clearly a different shape than Narimura's, but still I could see it. But since I didn't know how to summon it, just desperately struck the woman with every delusion I could muster. I imagined a sword slicing through her flames. I flung the image of her, that image at her with my delusions. The burning fangs that threatened to engulf the two of us exploded. And then the fire danced like a snake. It flew in a straight line toward the woman who had created it. Did you just bat it back at her? That's gotta be the worst, though. I imagine she's not a fan of fire. The fire turned to the spiral that leapt at her, and she fell over in shock.
Senpai!
Was that my power? While I hadn't been looking, my D-sword had vanished from my vision.
Senpai! Ima no uchi ni nige!
Oh yeah, let's get out of here, but what? Arima suddenly fell silent. I turned to see what she was looking at. The air rippled from the smoke and the heat of the flames. The woman slowly stood back up. I gasped at the color of her eyes. The fire that had been there a moment ago was gone. The light that burned with the hatred was gone. Now there was only ice. Her eyes were ice, frozen, motionless and piercing. Arimata and I couldn't move. Slowly. Where's the... Why? Just go, please! With an unsteady rhythm, the woman approached us. And then she stopped a few steps away. Smoke was rising off the garbage bin behind us. The planter next to me was making crackling noises from the heat. There was nowhere to run before us, behind us, or anywhere else. I couldn't even hear the bustle of the town, but the beating of my heart sounded even louder. The sound of my saliva running down my throat, the sound of my breathing, the sound of my blood flowing through my veins. All of those sounds were proof that I was still alive. But soon they would all be gone. They would all disappear inside those burning flames. My legs shook. My eyes blurred with tears. I could barely speak, but the woman's expression didn't change, not even a little. And then she raised her hand, and as she raised her hand toward me, I closed my eyes. I'm about to. Huh? She walking away. I slowly opened my eyes. And then the woman was gone. Alright, so my theory here, I think she hates the normal people who tortured her trying to utilize her abilities, right? And I think she saw him as a child, like see her, hear her call for help, and then leave. And she hated that. But I think that she sees, like, I don't think she's the one killing the psychics. You know, I think she is, if maybe in a way she's trying to protect them, or maybe in a way she's like, she has sympathy for them, because she is one. And maybe she knows all the torture that happened to people who were psychics in the hospital room. So now that she's seen that we have that same power, maybe she's more sympathetic toward us. Maybe she also could even understand why we wouldn't risk ourselves to save her and end up being put in a chair of our own. Maybe she's finally, maybe that's what it is. Maybe she's on a path of retribution where she feels that the world of normal people caused her pain. It's like almost like a very fanatical version of Magneto from X-Men, where his whole thing is that the mutants should be superior to humans and that the humans that want to destroy them should be destroyed themselves. Maybe she has a similar kind of philosophy. Are we saved? All the strength drained from my body and I collapsed to the ground. I thought I was a goner. I thought she would kill me for sure. No, until a moment ago she was definitely going to kill me. I could tell from her eyes. They were cold, without a trace of doubt, uncertainty, or hesitation. So why had she suddenly disappeared?
Arimura.
You okay? I looked up and saw that Arimura was standing there, staring at the spot where the woman had disappeared.
先輩。
どうしたんだ、有村。もしかして、まだ何か。
そうじゃないんです。ただ。
What?
ただ。
怖くて。動けない。
I get it. I was yelling at you guys because it was literally like a slow death approaching. It was very like horror movie where like the killer slowly walks towards the victim and the victim like trips and is like crawling on the ground and you're like, just stand up.
ここですか?
Yeah, finally.
とりあえず、ここなら平気だと思う。
After the attack by the pyrokinetic woman, I finally got to Albadorm with Arimura. I could probably get treatment for my burns here.
閉まってるか。
Oh, lovely. The front door was locked. I'd been so busy running, I'd forgotten how late it was.
鍵、まだ隠してあるといいけど。
I'd been given a key to the dorm, but I usually didn't carry it on me. But back when I'd lived here, there was a spare key hidden on the ground, so I decided to look for it.
あった。
Fortunately, the key was right where I remembered it. Part of me thought it was a good idea to leave it in. It wasn't a good idea to leave it in the same place all the time, but today I was grateful for that. Yep, it's a double-edged sword of having a hidden key outside. Like, it's really handy when you need it, because someday you'll probably need it. But if you aren't careful, somebody else might find it. As I went to the exam room, Arimura stood hesitantly by the entrance. I motioned for her to sit in the exam chair.
その、怪我の治療だけど。
ご心配なく、これくらいなら自分でできますから。
Okay.
そう。
Good, I gotten a little used to it, but I still didn't like the idea of touching her skin.
ああ、消毒液とか、これ使って。
I got some medicine, some cotton wool, and an adhesive bandage from the shelf and handed them to her. Since this was a clinic, a lot of the medicines were used by professionals, but they were labeled in clearly written Japanese, so there was no way I could screw them up. Every time a new drug came in, it was Kurusu's job to make the label and stick it on. She always said that if she didn't, Yui, Yuto, and I might take some by accident. She'd always been the type to worry about things like that. I mean, fair, you were children. I'd always been told to make sure to straighten my shoes when I got up, my shoes up when I took them off, not to put my socks in the laundry inside out. She'd made me help with a lot of cooking too, didn't she?
って何考えてんだ、僕は。
I shook my head, shocked that I was thinking about these things and something much more important was going on.
宮代先輩はここでクルス先輩たちと一緒に暮らしてるんですか?
Yep. Aww, the disinfectant must have stung because she was wincing.
暮らしてたんだよ。少し前まで。
じゃあ今は?
今は別の場所で一人で暮らしてる。
一人暮らしですか。いいですね。
I don't know, we're literally in the homeless park.
まあね。有村は?
I hadn't really meant anything by it, but that's just where the conversation was leading.
知りたいですか?
あ、いや、言いたくないならいいんだけど。
いいですよ、別にそれくらい。私は親戚の家で暮らしてます。実家ちょっと遠いので。
Okay.
そうか。
She was jealous of me living alone. Did that mean that she wasn't getting along with her relatives?
あ、言っておきますけど、別に親戚の家でいじめられてるとか、そういう昭和のドラマみたいなことはないですから。
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up.
いえ、変に誤解されても嫌だなと思って。
別に誤解なんてしてない。
やっぱり思ってたんですね。
Oh, shush. That's right, she had that power. Oh, right. He's like, oh. Her knowing if I was telling the truth or not made things difficult.
でも、
It was probably difficult for Aribata herself to know what someone was really thinking, whether she wanted to or not. That sort of explained how she acted at school. Unless she kept things on a superficial level, acting like a goofball and telling jokes, she'd know what everyone really felt. It would crush her. That's true. That would suck.
はい、終わりました。先輩もどうぞ。
うん。
Let's see the damage. Since Aribata seemed to have finished, I sat down in the chair to take care of my own injuries. And at the same time, the door at the back softly opened.
誰？タクル？
Hey, how's it going? Oh no. I'd hoped that Kurusu would be asleep. Well, originally I'd been coming here to talk to her about something important. But after the pyrokinetics attack, I decided against it. If she saw me injured like this, she'd be worried, so I planned to talk to her tomorrow instead.
何か音が聞こえるから気になって。こんな時間にどうし...
And she's so happy to see us. And then she realized there was another girl in the room.
有村さん？お邪魔してまーす。
Hi! Alright. Kurusu, I feel like you're jumping to weird conclusions right now. Don't be doing that. Trust me. We were just like attacked. Oh, maybe we couldn't tell it. Fetch, what are we supposed to say?
違うんだ、これは。
Why are you saying it like that? Wasn't that some kind of weird late night date with her and then we got into a big fight where both of us got hurt? But before I could say something which would probably only make her more suspicious, Kurusu saw us both and went pale.
二人とも怪我してるじゃない。
Yeah.
これは。
I knew this was coming. Her own injury hadn't healed yet, so when I saw how worried she looked at it, it pricked my heart.
貸して。手当て必要なんでしょ？いいから貸しなさい。
Kurusu grabbed the medicine I was carrying and started to patch me up.
いやいや、もう大丈夫っすよ。私はもう自分で。そんな適当な処置じゃダメ。後になったらどうするの？でもは聞きません。わかったわね。
はい。Here's a nurse or Dr. Kurusu. Can't say no to her. Kurusu's no-nonsense attitude was enough to overwhelm even Arimura. She sat down to let Kurusu do whatever she wanted. When she was finished, she started on me.
で、何があったの？
What's your play here now?
それは。
What was I supposed to tell her?
できるだけ驚かさないように伝えるべきなんだろうけれど。
Yeah, how do I say that? Someone in the park tried to light me on fire is like the most vanilla thing we could say.
私たち、襲われたんです。
Well, there we go.
ってストレートすぎるだろ、有村。
Dang it! What's happening to me? Arimura came straight out and told her while I was hesitating.
襲われた？
Yo, that's a quiet all caps word.
はい。炎を操る力を持った女に。
Just coming right out to say it then. But that reaction is kind of what I was expecting. I think she does know more about this stuff. I think she knew this stuff was real and was wanting to protect probably Taku from it. And that's why she got really concerned when the investigation started looking like it was going this direction. And now she's like, crap, it's actually happening. Kurusu's expression started to cloud over.
だから有村、余計なこと言うなよ。
I glared at her, but Arimura just shook her head.
こういう時は変に隠すとかえって嘘っぽくなるんですよ、先輩。相手にも余計な心配をかけます。
She's got a point.
え？
つうか、宮代先輩の嘘って私の能力なんかなくても分かりやすいですし。
It's probably true.
有村さんの言う通りだわ。ちゃんと話して。
Consider we've talked about psychics twice and how she has a power. You're taking it really in stride. I guess I didn't have a choice. It's probably for the best, man. I told Kurusu what had just happened, carefully choosing my words so as not to scare her. While I spoke, I had flashbacks to the terror that I'd felt in the attack, but my voice started to shake, but I couldn't help that.
ということで、理由は僕たちにもわからないんだ。でも、あの女は間違いなく僕たちを狙ってきた。
Everything I said sounded unrealistic even to me, but Kurusu intently listened to every word. She just sat there and listened.
宮代先輩。
Yeah. Arimura suddenly looked at me and spoke.
見えますかそれ。
What? Oh, fetch, there it is! Only then did I notice it. I've been so busy talking I hadn't noticed, but something had appeared at the corner of my eye.
これは。
When I remembered the terror I'd felt in the attack, it had brought this back as well. There was no mistaking it.
ディソード。
I whispered the word to myself and tried to visualize it more clearly. And then... Right? The hazy, indistinct image began to take shape. I reached out my hand toward the bizarre object. But...
なんだこれ。どういうことだ？
For some reason, I couldn't touch it.
タクル？何をしているの？
剣があるんだ、ここに。
剣？やっぱり出せるようになったんですね。自分のディソード。
Arimura said.
自分の？
はい。それが先輩のディソードですよ。ディソード。
An illusory sword that could only be seen by those with the power to make delusions real.
僕は、やっぱり能力者なのか。
Yeah.
だからずっと言ってるじゃないですか。そうだって。
じゃあさっきの女、あれはやっぱり僕を。
だと思います。私を狙った可能性ももちろんありますけど。
What I've been afraid of had become real. That woman, her eyes, her appearance, and her flames. The burn marks on our bodies told me that this wasn't a dream, it was real. At this rate, I would be killed like the victims in the Don't Look and Revolving Dead.
どうして。
Why was this happening to me?
有村さん。
Kurusu suddenly interrupted our conversation.
なんでしょう。あなたの知っていること、全部私に教えて。
Uh-huh.
どうしてですか？
We're gonna be here for a while.
誰が何のためにこんな事件を起こしているのか調べるの。
Oh, interesting. Now you want to be part of the investigation.
おい！
Stunned, I leaned closer to Kurusu.
お前、事件には関わるなってずっと言って。
でももう遅いんでしょ？この先もタクルや有村さんが狙われるかもしれないのよね。
Yeah. Or you.
クルス。
I'd worried they'd come here to the clinic. I noticed earlier that something seemed a little off about Kurusu. She'd told me so many times not to get involved in anything dangerous that I was sure that when I told her what happened tonight, she'd freak out. I think she just was anticipating this. That's why even when I fled here, I still hadn't wanted to see her. But after I told her, instead of looking angry or raising her voice, her expression was firm and resolved.
あのね、タクル。セリカから聞いてるかもしれないけど、話しておきたいことがあるの。
Ooh, yeah.
ああ。
実は私、あなたに言ってないことがあって。
言ってないこと？
I felt a sudden pain in my heart. Her words reminded me of the last time I was told that my parents were murdered. When I found out that my family rule at the Adobe dorm, nobody kept secrets from each other, didn't apply to me, just everyone else. When I found out that the one person who was different from the rest of my family, exactly, that was what hurt. It wasn't the secret itself. It was the fact that the secret was kept. And I knew Kurusu remembered it too. She had almost brought herself to the verge of saying something, but her memories came back and stopped her. She kept opening and closing her mouth, only to finally fall silent, almost like I almost never saw her like this.
クルス、僕なら大丈夫だ。
How could I not? I balled my hands tightly into fists as if I was trying to tell myself to.
今の僕はあの時とは違うよ。多分。だから聞かせてくれ。
タクル。
Aww. Was I just imagining things, or did Kurusu's eyes get a little wet? Couldn't bear to look at her, so I continued.
とにかく、言ってないことってのを聞かないと、何が何だかわかんないだろ。
そうね。そうよね。ごめんなさい。
And then she slowly started to speak. Okay, I think we will end here, though, because I imagine this is going to go into a pretty deep discussion, and let's save that discussion for next time. This was a much more exciting episode than I was expecting. Not really the direction I thought it was going to go either, but very interesting. So we finally meet the pink-haired girl. She just lights fires. That's terrifying. I really think that my best guess is that she's on a vendetta of some kind, which is why when we displayed our own powers, she decided not to kill us, even though she looked pretty intent on killing us before that. Like, something about us having those powers changed her mood and direction, which is odd considering how chaotic she's been portrayed so far. That means that there's probably an actual intent under there, even if she's just not vocal about it. So that's interesting. And then this is probably going to be talking about like the backstory of that girl. Whether they're going to make the connection that's the same person or not, I'm not sure, but I hope they do. And then we'll see where we go from here. But yeah, despite the fact that this girl with the pink hair is being painted as an antagonist, I don't think she's the one that's actually killing people. I don't think she's involved in any real way. I think she's just somebody who was able to escape the clutches of whatever's left of the Nozomi Corporation, and is on a warpath because of the hatred she has for what they did to her. Misguided, yes, but understandable, absolutely. Anyway, I think that's all for now. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you have a good day, a good start to your weekend. It's a pretty good time. I do have, I feel like I keep saying this now lately, but it's just life things happening. I got another family trip going up. Got a family member who's getting married, and I also have recently learned that my grandpa, who's still alive, has had a very sudden turn in his health, and so I'm going to take the opportunity to go see him. It'll be a long ways away, but it'll be worth it because, I mean, you never can know, but based on what my family's been saying and how far away I am from him, this is likely the last chance I'm going to have to see him in person. It sounds like we're kind of at that, like, countdown moment, right? Does that make sense? I don't know if you've ever lost anyone in your family, but when people are getting really old or sickly, there's a tipping point where even the doctors start to kind of say, yeah, like, it's time to start getting ready because it's coming. So, yeah. Worth going out on the trip and not making videos for a week, I think. You know, just a little bit. So, apologies for that. I guess apologies that I won't be making content for you to watch, but I'm not going to apologize for going to see family. But it is what it is. Anyway, I hope you all take care. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing what happens in the next episode. But until the next episode you see me in, or whatever you happen to see me in next, I'll see you there.